All right, new video. The exploitation of weak spirits built our world. And what I mean by this is that basically the average person spiritually is so weak that they were submissive enough to become overhauled by someone else who has a stronger spirit. And the way this happens is that it's like a lot of people don't really know themselves and are not very comfortable in being themselves fully and truly always without any sort of filter. I mean, you need to have a little bit of filter to operate within society, but it's only to a certain degree. You still have to show that you're capable of being authentic and being yourself. And I think that a lot of people don't go after the lives that they truly want. Everyone wants to be rich and successful and famous and and be able to take care of themselves and their extended family and potentially the future family with a wife and children. And everyone wants the backyard and a big mansion and the white picket fence. Everyone wants this stuff, right? But why do most people never get it? Because their spirit dies along the journey of that conquest, so they never actually get to materialize what it is that they dream about. And this shit, it pisses me off. And but it only pisses me off for my own life, not really for others, because I look at others and I'm like, okay, if you're not going to go and get it at this point, I've lived long enough to realize that you can't just sit around and dream about the life that you want and wait for it to happen, because it will never happen. I've literally done this experiment my own self for many years of my own life to know that that's not realistic and it's not gonna happen. So if you're watching this thinking that maybe can I sit around and mastermind and not put any action behind the mastermind and my life will change within the next couple of years, bro, it's like, have you ever seen a genie before? Because I'm pretty sure you haven't. And so what I mean to say is that it's not gonna happen. So no one's going to fulfill your wishes or dreams or desires. Only you're capable of doing that. And that's why you're here. That's why you're here, right? And so it doesn't matter the hardship that you grow up with. It doesn't matter if you've grown up homeless. It doesn't matter if your parents don't love you. It doesn't matter if nothing. As long as you're alive and breathing, you're able to watch this video, that's all that matters. And then after watching this video, what's going to matter is what you do with the information that I dispel. Because it's like, there's a reason why a majority of people have been slaves over the course of human history. And, being out on the field and picking cotton is no different to being in, and getting paid pennies in exchange, or what was the, getting paid in shillings, right? Back in the day, that's what the currency would be called. Instead of pounds and things that we have now, and dollars and euros, we had shillings, at least in the UK and Great Britain. So it's like, it's no different from being a slave back in the day, being out on the fields and working from sun up to sundown, getting paid shillings so that you and your family could eat like the smallest mackerel at the end of the day that would keep you going for the next day. And then the cycle repeats, and they set the system up in this way to keep you dependent, but you have to learn to become independent. But at the same time, it's not something that you can, it's not really something that you can learn. It is kind of something that you can learn part and parcel, but 50% is what you learn, and 50% is kind of like your genetic, like how long it's just naturally going to take you to get things and to get places and get where you want to be in life. So it's like, but energy can't be faked. And so it's like, if you believe that that's what you're supposed to do and you're going to follow the rules, and because I would have been the type of slave back in the day if I was in the field picking cotton and all this type of stuff. And I don't know if YouTube is going to demonetize this video or take it down because of the rhetoric that I'm using and the verbiage that's being dispelled in this video. But I don't like, it is what it is. I'll let it fly and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, obviously the video stays up and it can be monetized and all that, because I want to be good with the platform. But what I mean to say is that, look, even if I was in that situation and condition back in those days of being out in the fields and having to do something strenuous that I don't want to do for such a long amount of time, and then I barely get any time back for myself at the end of the day, and before you know it, I'm back doing something again that I don't want to do, but it just helps to keep, it helps to give me just like the bare minimum. It's like at some point, I would have gotten so mad and fed up I would have found a way to escape that. I would have found a way to escape because it's a scam, mate. Everything in life is a scam. Like, you think, oh, because you're buying a new iPhone 17 and they're giving you like all these specifications, like Apple said that it's got all this new stuff, new battery, new camera. Oh, it's more professional and you can use it on a personal basis and a professional basis. And like, yeah, all this stuff is good, but it's all marketing and advertising. Like, come on, bro. Like, I'm not saying they don't include these things in the product, but I'm just saying, how much does it actually cost them to make these things compared to what they produce it and sell it to produce the product, and then what they actually promote it the price to be after they've produced it? It's a complete disparity between what it costs to create it and then what it costs to actually to sell it. So it's just like, you'll get between that price point of what it costs to create and costs to sell, you're getting scammed. We're all getting scammed. I'm getting scammed. But guess what? I'm bought into the marketing and the hype, and I like the phone, and it's very sleek, and it looks nice, and it feels nice. So it's like, it's whatever. I can make content on it, and I know how to use it, and it's fairly simple. So I'm like, but it also gives this professional appeal as well, whilst having this personal effect to it. So I like it. But I know that it's not worth the full amount I'm paying for, but that's the amount they set. So it's like, you can't get it for any less than that because that's what they're charging, you know? And so, you know, you could look at refurbished, but refurbished is going to be slightly less. I mean, it's not going to be that much. That's still going to be expensive either way. You buy it refurbished or brand new. So I don't really want to hear it. But the point is that everything is extortion. Everything is a scam. Everything is a pyramid scheme. So it doesn't even, like the regular food that you buy, bro. If you're buying something for pennies, how much does it cost to produce that? It costs less than pennies to produce it. Best believe, because otherwise it wouldn't be selling it, because it wouldn't be a profit there. So you got to understand that it's like, there's a profit margin to everything in life, bro, and everything, especially the big and successful things that you can always rely on and go back to, and that you feel is trustworthy because it's being advertised to you all the time and you can't escape it. So it's always on your mind, and eventually you're going to cave into that thought that you have and make a purchase, and that's how they make their money, and their business gets bigger, and their customer base gets bigger, and you keep suffering because it's all a price margin and a profit point that they're hitting, and it's a huge one. It's the one that you wouldn't even believe, like per sale, making hundreds per sale off of a phone that already costs a couple hundred to begin with. Why? Because they're making it for like £50 in China, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got like, bro, and people don't understand that that's what it takes to live your dream life. Like, you're going to have to do the same thing. If you want to live your dream life, you're going to have to be able to sell something, provide something of value or some service or product that you can sell for for a lot in just one sale. Because when you times that over 10 sales, 100 sales, 1,000 sales, that's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot. So it's like, at that point, it's like you're bowling. But people understand what it takes to get to a position where they can be bowling in life. But they're scared of it because they don't know how they're going to be able to manage all of it. And like, you're not going to be rich if you can't handle shit. I'm just telling you that right now. Like, you got to be able to take care of a multitude of orders, and you got to be able, like, you have to be on the ball. You can't, like, your mind has to be clear. Your head has to be in the game, like EA Sports. And you can't ever lose your mind too tough. Like, you got to understand that this game of life is brutal, and it's traumatic, and especially the journey from getting poor to rich, it's definitely traumatic, which is something I might speak about in another video. But it's part and parcel of this video, and it's like, you know, you have to be willing to do the things that it's going to take in order to get the life that you want, or otherwise don't want that life then. But the thing is, naturally, you're going to want that life because when you see other people who really have that life, like, no lie, they really have that life. Okay, they might be doing something shady and they might be like selling out in a certain way, but like, it's like, do you not want to sell out? Do you not want to live the life of your dreams? Or do you want to continue in mediocrity, in poverty, and averageness, and continue to aspire to be great, but never actually do anything in order to get to be great? Never actually do anything great in order to become that of which you aspire to be. It's like, come on, like, people are living like people are living a lie. Like, in the sense that they're not living the life that they want to live, but they'll give you a smile in the face in the morning as they're going along to the job that they really don't want to be at because they feel as though it's what they have to do. Stop doing what society generally expects you to do if it's not law, because you got to understand it like this. I don't do what society expects me to do. I do what society demands of me to do, because if it's a demand, then it's a law, right? You got to assume, okay, I'll live within the laws of the land, but I don't live within the looks of the land, as in, oh, it should look a certain way. You should. No, I don't. I reject it. I refuse it. And I'll never, I used to onboard that, of course, growing up as a kid, being indoctrinated by all these systems and people and authority figures, and me being a minor and not really being able to think for myself too well. And I mean, it's not an excuse, because some kids can think for themselves really well at a young age, but I had difficulty with that until I grown up and matured more. But now I just see through all the lies. I see through the deception. I see through the narratives that are being spread. I see through the propaganda. I see through the agendas, and I can rip them apart, bro. Like, I can either rip them apart or completely ignore it. And I've just gotten to a point where it's just like ownership over myself, over my own life, where I want to go. And as long as it's legal, it's like, I don't care what anybody has to say. Oh, you're selling out. It's legal to sell out. Why don't you? You're scared because you can't handle it. Or you think that people are going to think a certain way of what you're doing. And okay, there's going to be a small minority that's going to think a certain way of the things that you're doing. But why do they care? They're not adding to your life. They're there to take away from you anyway. So you might as well get what you can get, instead of just being like, because you have to understand, it doesn't matter how you live. It doesn't matter if you want to be broke and therefore you live broke, or you want to be rich and therefore you live rich. Broke people and rich people get hate from all types of people. You know, people will hate on someone being broke because they're broke. People will hate on someone being rich because they're rich. You know? So it's, at the end of the day, bro, just do you. Like, really and truly think about this and do you. Stop worrying about what other people have to think. Like, bro, there are so many ways to make money. There are so many ways to get influence nowadays. You have no excuse. Seriously, just try. At least try. Because if you try and you try to do something that will help you achieve the life that you aspire to have one day, I can respect you. If you don't do that, I don't respect you. If you don't do that, you might as well not have life. You might as well not even be here. You're wasting your time. I don't want to see you on the street giving me a fake smile, but in the back of your mind, if I'm in my LV draped down, you know, and walking, I'm fresh, I'm clean, and you're in some bummy like Nike Airs or something, and then you're like, oh, damn. But in the back of your mind, you're like, damn, I hate this dude. This dude must be a scammer. This dude must be this. He doesn't deserve this. He doesn't have the same level of IQ that I have. I got tested for 137 IQ in school. This dude has he has sub 100 IQ. Okay, but I'm making more money than you. Like, look at Fresh from Fresh and Fit, for example, right? Walter, that black dude. Like, bro, you can see, dude can't even articulate himself properly. He can't go on a video and sit like this, like me, like I am, for like many minutes on end. We're currently 13 minutes in the video, but what I'm saying is he can't articulate himself this well, and I'm far younger than him. I'm 23, he's 35 or something like that, and he can't speak. Like, he's stuttering, and whenever he tries to speak at a faster pace, he's stuttering all the time. He's like, so today, guys, we got a special panel on the guest, and we're gonna bring some lovely ladies in the video, and it's funny. And shout out Fresh, because I fuck with him. Like, if you watch this video, bro, I like your content, so like, big you up in it. But like, I'm just saying, bro, you got successful. It's super inspiring to me. Don't get me wrong. Like, I look up to you. I'm a fan of your content, your channel, and your stuff, you know. So, and if Myron's watching this, like, shout out you, bro, you're the GOAT. But what I want to say is just like, look, man, obviously he's not a perfect human being. He has flaws and he has things he could work on and that could be better. And that would bring him more money if he was able to speak more eloquently with, clear speech and uninterrupted from his own self. He'd be able to sell himself more to the masses and obviously make more money and have more influence and status, right? Which is something he has already amassed a great amount of. So obviously, anymore, perhaps you would look at that and say, oh, it's quite negligible at that point. But it's like, no, it's still something to aim for. It's still something to achieve. The reason the biggest achievers in this life achieve a lot is because even when they achieve what some people would say is a lot, to them, they're still thinking like back in the day, like when they had nothing, and they're like, this is not enough. Because I've came this far, this can't be the end. Because I still have more life. I have more energy inside of me. I have breath to breathe, air to breathe with, oxygen, right? I got more to give to the world and I got more to earn. If I've earned this much already, who's to say I can't also earn more on top of that? That's the athlete type of dedication that I never stop progressing. I continue to evolve and achieve that the average person simply doesn't have, bro. They can't even bro. The average person can't even fathom what I've just said in this video right now. Like, I'm so annoyed and angry that this is the case for like the average individual walking. And it's like they could even have a higher IQ than me, but they ain't got the heart that I do. And that's why I'm gonna go out there and be confident and be bold and make the money and post this short and get 1,000,000 views or 1,000 views or whatever the case is, and have this influence because I really have like something. I got this deep desire to have an impact, and I'm going to have my impact, bro. I'll tell you this and you could tell me back at the video watching, nah, you ain't gonna have it. I'm gonna have it because I told you I'm gonna have it. And what? You ain't gonna do anything about it. You're going to watch me not have it to then having it, and then hating the fact that I even said I would predict that I would have it, because I'm really like that and you ain't. That's the difference between me and you. So that's why I'm gonna come and take everything that you could have. You ain't gonna have it, I'm gonna have it. But if you want it for yourself, you gotta listen to this and think, wait, maybe he's saying something that's valid here. Maybe I do need to have more confidence within myself. Maybe I do need to find who I am truly and the exact life that I want to live. You have to, bro, you have to be autistic with this stuff. You have to be specific. You have to be pinpoint what it is. What life do you imagine to live? Do you want to be out somewhere like, I'm not gonna tell you what place of the world it is that you should relocate to or move to or whatever it is. That's for you to figure out, because I already got it for me, and I'm not sharing my ideas, my super personal ideas with anyone, you know. But what I will say is that you need to think, you need to sit in your room around the 4 white walls, right? And you need to look around and be like, okay, do I like my life right now? If you don't 100% like your life right now, why? Why? If it's 99%, what's the 1% you don't like about it? And look to see if you can fix that. And work on it for your life, for your lifetime, whilst also continuing to keep up with doing the other things that are making you happy, of course, so you can continue to stay 99% happy, because you don't want to drop to 98% while trying to achieve that 1% to get you to 100. So you got to figure out a way to put it all in there. But there's a way to do it. You just have to think. But a lot of people, they don't want to do this stuff because this stuff, it can take a little bit of time, right? But do you realize, like, you don't know how many steps I had, you don't know how many left turns I had to make in order for, like, you don't know how many left turns, like, I had to make in order to get it right, you know? Like, Dave says something like that in Stop Giving Me Advice, a song with Jack Harlow. And that song is dope, by the way. I really love Dave's verse. He kind of washed Jack Harlow on that verse, I'm not going to lie. It was the whole, like, Churchill Downs Part 2 situation, in my opinion. Like, but these are songs you need to listen to. Like, listen to Stop Giving Me Advice, Dave and Jack Harlow, and then listen to Churchill Downs, Drake and Jack Harlow. Those 2 songs are songs that people need to listen to. The masses haven't heard these records because they're not mainstream, but they give you so much game as to what it takes to be great. They get it. They understand it. Like, they understand it more than a lot of people. That's why they are where they are, right? Like, the reason people are great in this life is, even Nikola Tesla said it. It's like, bro, this world, this reality is not real, but because it's what you make it. It's not what's, like, it's not necessarily exactly what's presented to you, but it's basically what you want out of what's presented to you. So, because we get presented a whole host of things throughout our lifetime, right? We get to see what it's like, the insides of what someone's rich life is like, and we get to see the insides of what someone's broke life is like. But the issue is, too many people are choosing the broken mediocre over choosing the rich, because with what it takes to be rich is a lot more responsibility, is a lot more intensity, is a lot more ambition, and a lot more drive. Like, you have a lot less room for error. You know, you have not even error. You can get rich by taking a lot of and having a lot of errors along the way, absolutely. But what I'm saying is, there's a lot less room for complacency. That's the issue. You see how most people never get jacked in their life because they don't go to the gym often enough. They don't like train the right body parts in order to look a certain way. This is what I'm talking about. They bust too many nuts in the bed with their woman so that when they go into the gym, they feel tired and they be like, I go to the gym 10 years and I haven't put on any muscles. Why are my biceps not big? Because, bro, you haven't got any energy. Like, you're wasting your seed, and your seed is literally life force because it creates a child, right? And this is going a little bit off topic, but at the same time, it's on topic relating this back to Nikola Tesla and saying that your reality is what you make it, because it's energy, and energy can't be faked. It's like, if you put your energy into things that you want, if you want to be a musician, you got to put your energy, your life force into making music, and you'll become a musician. And if you genuinely like it, you're getting better at it, you're passionate about it, it's gonna happen, bro. Some way, somehow, it will just happen, bro. And you promote it enough, it'll happen, bro. It'll happen. Now, it might be a little bit like, what people are gonna think. You know, when you release your first couple of songs, you're going to be quite attached to it. But in the end, after releasing a couple of records, you start getting feedback, and you become used to the feedback loop and cycle. You start to get detached and be like, okay, it's whatever. I understand that some people are gonna like it, some people are not. But it takes the first few steps in order for you to see that. Otherwise, you're never gonna see that. So my whole thing is, bro, people, they don't understand this. And I'm talking so fast right now, it's because I'm trying to offshoot and get all of these ideas and points across, because they're all relevant towards each other and they're kind of in sync. And so a lot of people don't understand this, man. They don't ever do any type of deep reflection like this. And this is what I've been doing for a while. This ain't new to me. That's why I can speak the way I'm speaking. Like, I was trying to put liquid into my vape while recording the video, but I can't do it at the same time because it's kind of hard to open up the bottle and shit like that. But yeah. Anyway, so the reality is not real. Currency ain't real. Prices aren't real. Bro, it's made up. Someone said, oh, I want to charge this for this because this is how much I want to make off of it. And they just kept posting with, and what they did from that point was, then on top of that, all they did was add consistency. Once they got the clarity as to what they wanted to communicate towards the world, they just became consistent with that stream of clarity that they were communicating until what? They attracted customers. It's simple, bro. It's so simple to get rich. And this is why I'm implementing all of this now, because it's like, I cracked the code. I really genuinely cracked the code. And you might watch this video and think I'm a madman, but when this actually comes into fruition and the stuff that I'm talking about starts to take off and blow up, and not every video is that I make, I'm always super proud of, but I always have a sense of pride and be like, well, I did the best I could on this day, you know? But I know there's days that I record something and I'm like, oh, I made a great video this day, and the next day I made a terrible video, maybe because my energy levels were a bit off. And energy is inconsistent. It's never always the same, but you should always aim to find some way to make your energy as consistently good as possible, because it's going to make your reality, bro, different to the average person. I'll tell you that right now, like for free, bro. Like this is the type of content I'm making here, like that I'm releasing for free. When I gain some influence and I start having followers, bro, I'm charging y'all niggas for all this shit. I swear on my mother's life, bro. Like, I'm going to start to basically create a community, maybe a school community or something, where I'm releasing these videos as paid and I go more into depth about all of the knowledge that I have. And, you know, I'll talk about it over a longer period of time, and I'll sell off this content, because this can't remain to be free. It's free now because I need a platform, but trust me, I'm not going to be one of those people who be like, yeah, I'm going to release these videos and they're going to stay free forever. And that's like, of course I'm here to help, but to a certain point, I need y'all to help me, you know? Like, so this is not a one-way street here. It's a two-way. It takes two to tango. So, like, best believe I'm coming for that. I'm coming for that check, boy. Best believe I'm coming for that check, boy. So, yeah, anyway, like, energy, bro, is the number one thing. You can't make money without energy. You can't, like, have a girlfriend without energy. Because all of these things, you have to feel like deep within you that you deserve. And you know what's a good thing about being broke? I'll tell you this. When you've been broke for like, when you've been broke for like 20 years, 30 years of your life, when you've been broke for an extended period of time, and now you start to hit like your 20s or like early, mid, late 20s, and I speak within this age range because this is what I can relate to. because I can't yet relate to my 30s, and I can relate to teens, but it was a while ago now, so I don't really want to regurgitate upon those talking points. But specifically for your 20s, once you start to feel like life has been bullshit for a very long time and you're broke, if you're watching this and you're 20 and you're broke, and you're kind of in a similar position to me, because I'm not rich. I'm not like, I'm earning money now, but I got a lot more money to get to, trust me, and I will. And so if you're watching this and you're in a similar position, right, and we can have some relation here and friendship, it's like, you're in the best position. We're in the best position we could be in, because if you think about it like this, it's like now we're actually hungry. Like, we've been starving for so long that it gets past to the point of wanting, but it's more so like a needing at this point. Like, you're actually desperate. And I can tell you on camera, I'm confident, I'm desperate for this stuff. Do you know how desperate I am for fame? Do you know how desperate I am for success? Do you know how desperate I am to live a good life? I am desperate. I'm going to tell you that, because it's not like something that I'm going to just like hide from you and be like, no, I'm not, like, oh, I'm too cool and nonchalant. Like, of course I can be nonchalant, and on a daily basis, like, if you ever got to know me personally, I'm fairly nonchalant, but I'm just very passionate about the things that I am passionate about. And so that will show, but but I might appear nonchalant in society, because most of the things that society are up to now at this point in my life, like, as soon as I've experienced drink and drugs and stuff like that, by the time you hit your 20s, you're not passionate about those things anymore, like other people remain to be. And so it's like, I'm not passionate about the general things like sports and like I'll bet on sports, but I'm not going to attend and watch it. It's a waste of my time. I'll bet on it so I can look back on it and see if I made some money, but I'll keep it pushing because I got other things to do to make money. I got music to put out. I could have a hit record at any time. So that's the way I'm looking at life. I'm living it like really like in the moment, but also setting my future up. Whereas people are just specifically living it for it in the moment. And that's the difference between us and like the rest, So if you're watching this video, that's the difference between us and the rest. So you know that. So it's just like, I'm not interested in the average things that people are interested in. So I might come across nonchalant in real life for sure. But that's just because like I'm not aligned with those things that you're aligned with. I'm aligned with something else. So if you bring up another topic, like talking about how to get money, talk about this, crypto, Bitcoin, talking about like stocks, talking about bettings, talking about, maybe games for money, like wagering, talking about like content creation, music production, business. Like if you talk about these things, credit, how to get a loan, maybe. If you're talking about things like this, that's when that passionate and creative side will come out of me, and you'll actually spark some interest in me. And so I'll be able to like converse with you and be like, oh yeah, and I'll no longer be nonchalant. I'll probably more likely get more personal with you because these are the things I'm doing personally in my own life. So it would only make sense that it has that overlap there. But if we're talking about things that are just inconsequential and pretty much a nuisance to my life, like, oh, do you want to go watch the game this weekend and grab a beer? No, because why would I want to be wasting my own time spending money just to have this so-called friendship, it's just not valuable when I could be doing something else in that time. We could have the same friendship, but have it around money instead, have it around business instead, have it around something that's going to be like our kids can look back and thank us for. You know what I'm saying? Or I can look back and be like, damn, I accomplished something. What is it to accomplish that I'm going to the pub to watch a game and have a beer? Bro, I don't want to be a clown. Like, you, Pennywise, you can go to the club, but I'm not going to see you there. I'm not going to meet you there. So, bro, energy is vital, and like, this is something that it can be learned, but you have to expose yourself to enough over time in order to like think this way. Like, you can't think this way just off of watching this video unless you're already on your way there. But if it's the first time you're being exposed to me and my content, you're not going to think the ways that I'm thinking, like just instantly off the rip, but something will speak to you. And it will just it will ruminate inside of you, and slowly and surely it'll just start like things in your life will start to change. You'll probably end up like leaving your job and starting a business. You'll probably end up like getting a loan or getting some credit in order to start up a business, or like you'll do something, because it's not going to stay the same after like ingesting this type of information. Like, I promise you that. So, and the time will come. It will be like a slow evolving process, but it'll happen. So, I mean, If you're watching this content and you think I'm crazy, great, love you. If you're watching this content and you think I make sense, great, I love you. You know, because it's all about the engagement. It's all about the attraction. It's all about, you know, who's checking me out. And I appreciate who checks me out because, you know, it's good validation for me and my ego. So well done. Like, but yeah, bro, like I've watched a lot of like I gotta shout out certain guys that I've watched, like Luke Belmar, like Iman Gadzi, like like for the last few years, been inspiring my content. Like the creators that I've had to watch to come up with this stuff that I come up with is Sam Cooke. I think he's Australian, right? Australian business owner. He's like multi-millionaire. I think might even be a billionaire at this point. Owner of School as well. So shout out to him. Really high respect for the guy and his level of thinking, bro. It's like it's damn near second to none. And I didn't realize how much of like I was going to on board of all of this like traits and characteristics of being able to think to such a manic degree as I did when I first started watching his content. Like this was like over 2 years ago now. So it's like I really appreciate that. And I was down bad in my life when I was watching that. And it just helped me see things in a different way. And it's made me learn to love life again like a kid, but just apply it to the adult life. So it's like as a kid, I wanted freedom to be able to do the things I wanted to do. And I naturally had it because I was a kid. Now I'm an adult, I still want the same thing, but what do I have to do to get it? Business. Do that and I get back and I do that so that when that pays off, I get back to being a kid. That's basically it. And so Sam Cooke, really appreciate that guy. Alex Hormozy, Iman Gadzi, obviously like, you know, even new content creators now watching the likes of Clavicular, but back in the days, I was watching Luke Belmar as well. Obviously, bit Andrew Tate, right? You know, of course, Top G. Bro, I was watching Jordan Welch. Like, I was watching... Bro, I can't even tell. There's just such a long list of creators that I was watching. But this portion of the video is just an ending segment of, like, me showing a bit of love to these creators. Because these guys really help, like, inspire the shit that I do. You know, and it makes it possible for me to even make this content. So... it's like, I'm appreciative and yeah, man, I laid it out all on the table, bro. As Nicholas Tesla said, energy, it's like, not verbatim, but in quotations, it's like energy is like the #1 factor. Energy is what makes the world run, right? If you got low energy and you're not very confident of yourself, even if you try to make it act like you're confident, there's going to be this internal warfare that's not going to allow it for it to be believable to people and you won't get you have to earn that confidence. You have to start like lifting weights, actually see yourself get bigger in the mirror, like go from skinny to fucking jacked. And that's how you get confident. That confidence will apply to like everything in your life. This is why putting on muscle as a man as well is so important. Men who neglect putting on muscle, it's like, I'm not going to say like, of course you can still be successful. Like, but even there's a reason why even the billionaires, like once they've made like $1 billion or $1 million, after that, they start to get jacked and put the focus into the gym before they get too old because they understand that it's like this shit, it just makes you confident because when you feel weak all the time, even if you can do great things whilst being physically weak, you could be psychologically strong. And so you can still achieve greatness that way. But if you're not as psychologically strong, especially if genetically, naturally you're not, you're going to have to expose yourself to being physically strong as well to kind of make up for that so that that physical strength can like start to add to your psychological strength as well. Like it's basically what I'm saying is if you can have as much of the cake, if you can have your cake and eat it too, do that all the time for everything and anything in life, bro. Because that is what's going to make it feel the most fulfilling and is going to bring you back the most results. Don't settle. Don't be like, oh, I'll live this life of mediocrity because I'm an upstanding citizen and I did everything the right way while all the people who did everything the wrong way profited off of you doing everything the right way anyway. Anyways, man, that's enough for this video. 34 minutes in, second longest video in the channel's history. More longer form videos to come, man. Just when I feel inspired like this, it's a wrap. It's really a wrap for the algorithm. So thank you for having me.